Are you okay with the Eagles running back situation? The answer to this question may determine whether you would do this trade or you wouldn't. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. You know, the question is, do you feel comfortable with the Eagles at the running back spot that they have now? Now, it's a fair question, being that two of the running backs the Eagles have brought in have had injury concerns in the past. So, if you think that the Eagles may have a problem at running back, you're probably going to be okay with making this trade. Now, before we get into all of it, if you're new to the channel, you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for the support you give to me. It truly means a lot. And I don't know what happened with YouTube. I don't know if everybody took my advice and checked, or YouTube just fixed the problem, but they took 53 subscribers away from me yesterday. Today they added it all back. So I guess it was just something wrong with YouTube. I don't know, but it is what it is. Now, speaking of what it is real quick. I tell you, Mark Holmes is about to lose it. I do not know how this guy is going to make it through the season. He is already on the edge. He's already on the edge of the cliff, about to jump off. I mean, just listen to this guy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I am so effing tired. I am so freaking tired. I got up at 6 o'clock this morning. I'm real tired. And I'm sick to death of you, Philly 500. I'm tired of it. Philly, what is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Dude, I get it. You believe in your team. You have talked so much shit.
I mean, the dude's going crazy. He's going crazy. All because I bring up actual points that he can't answer. The whole video, he talked about Micah Parsons and Lane Johnson. He never once brought up that Micah Parsons doesn't do crap against the Eagles. Why does he avoid the questions? Why does he always try to subvert it to, we've got 5 rings and Super Bowls and I've seen them, and you guys have 3 championships, but those championships somehow don't count? What are you talking about? The dude isn't going to make it. He is not going to make it this year. He's on the verge. And we're talking about training camp hasn't even started. What's he going to do when Dak leads the league in interceptions again this year? What is he going to do? That's the question. So I don't know what the hell he's even talking about. But I will say this. As far as our Eagles go, I feel very, very confident for what this team has done this whole season. I feel really good about where we're at going into training camp. And yes, I would of course like to keep every option open to get better and to make this roster better. But I don't really think that there's any one position that is so bad that it's going to cost us a season. Even linebacker, even safety, I think that we can still get through with what we got. I actually like these young linebackers, and I think we'll be able to manage. Now, that doesn't change the fact that if you could go out and get better, you do it. The questions are, where would you upgrade your team? And to me, I think some of that just depends on who's available, who's out on the free agency market. I look at a guy like Yannick Ngakwe. He's out there. You don't have to give up anything to get him. So he is somebody that I would be very attracted to get. Pause. DeAndre Hopkins, he's out there, but I think he's probably the most unrealistic at this point, being what he wants to get paid. And, it's interesting to me because one of the positions that I actually feel really good about, and maybe I shouldn't, maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel very confident, very, very good about the running back spot, okay? Because I think that the Eagles actually have upgraded their running back core. I like Miles Sanders. I like everything that Miles Sanders has done. But at times, Miles Sanders also was injured a lot. At times, Miles Sanders disappeared. And I look at Rashad Penny and I look at DeAndre Swift and I say to myself, man, you've got two guys that you're bringing in that, if they can stay healthy, can be just as good, or if not better, than Miles Sanders. And I really like that added dimension that DeAndre Swift gives the Eagles in the passing game. That is something that the Eagles haven't really had in the past. But if you're legitimately worried about the running back spot, or if you think, man, we've got two guys that have been injury prone, I don't feel comfortable about the running back spot, I could totally understand your perspective. I could get it. And you would probably be interested in hearing, that the Eagles go out and pursue a Dalvin Cook, or perhaps Josh Jacobs, who we're going to talk about right now, because CBS put out a little top potential landing spots for Josh Jacobs, because Josh Jacobs might get traded. And here's what's going on with Josh Jacobs. I guess this whole thing about him trading, where he could go, is starting because there are reports now that Josh Jacobs actually is not going to report for camp if he doesn't have a long-term extension by, I think, Monday. Paloma Villicana, and I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but she had tweeted this: Pound Raiders running back Josh Jacobs tells me he's feeling great this offseason with no injuries. He feels explosive. Pause. I'm told by a source close to him that if a deal is not made between the Raiders and Jacobs on Monday at 1 p.m., Jacobs will not be showing up for training camp. And of course, if you have a guy that's not showing up for training camp, would the Raiders want to deal with that, or would they want to trade him? This is why I guess his name is being brought up right now in terms of, always call me when I think Mark Holmes puts these people up to call me as I'm filming. But anyways, as I was saying, because Jacobs may hold out and not show up for training camp, this is leading to the speculation that he could be traded. CBS Sports has put up the top potential landing spots for Josh Jacobs. And guess who they put at number one? That's right, the Philadelphia Eagles. Top potential landing spots for Josh Jacobs. Number one, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number two, the Chicago Bears. 3, the Miami Dolphins. 4, the Denver Broncos. And 5, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, here is what the write-up was on the Eagles and why the Eagles are number one. This is what they said. Since Miles Sanders is now a Carolina Panther, Jacobs would be a seamless addition inside the Eagles offense that put up 35 points in the Super Bowl. The defending NFC champions, Philadelphia Eagles, don't, quote, need anyone at this stage in the offseason. But coming up 3 points short in the Super Bowl could cause general manager Howie Roseman to go all in. Howie's all in all the time. All right. While he was a Pro Bowler last year, Sanders is not a volume runner. He had just 2 games last year that saw him receive at least 20 carries. He was largely invisible in the Super Bowl as he gained just 16 yards on 7 carries. Sanders is good, but it seemed that the Eagles would have benefited by having a more physical presence in the backfield. New off-season additions, DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny, have shown to be injury liabilities as higher carry volumes in their cases. Philly would be getting an every down battering ram in Jacobs, who had at least 20 carries in 9 games last year. Jacobs, who caught 53 passes in 2022, could also serve as a viable option for Jalen Hurts in the passing game. So this is their reasoning for going out and making a trade for Josh Jacobs. Now, Josh Jacobs and these running backs are very pissed off. Like, we might have like a civil war with these running backs, because running backs are pissed off right now. They're not making any money. I think Bijan Robinson, a rookie, is going to be the highest paid running back this year. And that was my whole argument. Like, the fact that these teams don't pay the running back, you might as well draft them if you can and have them tied up for 4 to 5 years on a rookie deal, because these guys aren't getting second contracts. And Josh Jacobs I think they said he's going to make $3.5 million less than he did a year ago. That's not acceptable for him. So that is the reasoning why the Eagles could go out and trade for Josh Jacobs. Now, me personally, I like the running backs I have. I actually like them. I would not make a trade for Josh Jacobs. I would not. I wouldn't even go out and sign Dalvin Cook. I think we're okay with what we got. And I think that if you need a running back at some point in the year because of injuries or these guys are going down, I think you could probably go out and get one by the trade deadline. But Josh Jacobs, if I had to go and let's say if I had to choose between Dalvin Cook and Josh Jacobs, I would choose Josh Jacobs. He led the league in rushing last year. He did have 53 catches off of 53 catches in the passing game, which would be similar to what you would get and receive from DeAndre Swift in the passing game. So he would also add that element. But if you were to trade for him, what are you going to give up? I mean, I'm not giving up. God, I'm not giving up a third-round pick for a running back. I'm not giving up a fourth-round pick for a running back. I just wouldn't do it. And then you have to sign him to an extension because he's going to want big money. So I don't see the Eagles going out and doing it. I think the Eagles, in my honest opinion about the running back spot, I actually think the Eagles are in a good position. I like DeAndre Swift. I like Rashad Penny. I think Rashad Penny being, let's say, I consider him the number 2 back. So I think Swift 1, Penny 2, Gainwell 3, Scott 4. I think that's how it's going to go, with the wild card being Trey Sermon. We really don't know. We saw him, like one series, a couple carries. Let's see what he does. Maybe he comes out and surprises us. But I think with DeAndre Swift being your number 1 back, Penny being your second back, I think the less carries will help Penny stay healthy. And then hopefully this is the year DeAndre Swift can actually stay healthy. Because I believe if he could stay healthy, I think he's going to have a monster year. I mean, to me, he's so talented, that kid. He's just got to stay healthy, and that's the whole question with him. I think the Eagles are playing the numbers, right? Howie's calculating the calculations of the cornbread, and he's saying, yeah, look, these guys both have been injury-prone in the past, but the chances that we bring both those guys in and both those guys get injured is not going to happen. So I think the Eagles are playing it right. I don't think there's a need to go out and get Josh Jacobs. I find it interesting that the Eagles are the number 1 landing spot. I guess it would make sense if you're really concerned about those guys being injured. But let's say you did trade for Josh Jacobs. Let's say the Eagles did do that. So then what do you do with your running back room? So what you're going to have, and this is just for argument's sake, you're going to have Jacobs, Swift, Penny, Boston Scott, Gainwell, and Trey Sermon. I guess Trey Sermon is gone, and you're probably going to have to let somebody else go right away. Who are you going to let go? I'm not letting Gainwell go. He was somebody we drafted. Boston Scott, I don't think they want to do that. So I think it's got to be DeAndre Swift or Rashad Penny. So the most likely scenario would be that the Eagles would trade or cut or release Rashad Penny. I guess they could do that. It would be an upgrade. But do I see them doing it? No. I think the Eagles, if they're going to focus trading and going out and getting other players, I think safety is a position you need to look at. I think defensive end in terms of free agency is a place to look at. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to talk more about this in another video, I think you could always look at upgrading the tight end spot. I think a backup tight end would be great for Dallas Goedert. I got somebody that I'm going to talk about in the next video. But I don't see the Eagles needing to go out and get a running back. I think we have to trust that these guys can stay healthy and go out and let's see what they can do. I do think the Eagles like DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny because I think they are a little more physical than Miles Sanders, and I think that's what they're looking for. We just need these guys to actually play one full season. I think DeAndre Swift has a lot to play for, being that he's going to be in a contract year. But the way that these running backs are getting paid, maybe it's smart for him just to go out and sign the extension for the Eagles, because the Eagles are looking at trying to get him signed to multi-year deal. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Eagles are okay at the running back spot? And if you don't, would you be okay with making a move at running back? Do you think we need to make a move at running back? I'm taking the sides of I don't think we need another running back. It's very flattering that the Eagles are the number 1 landing spot. But I don't think we need to go that route. I think we need to stick with the running backs we got, and let's see what they could do. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it.
come one of you mother humpers, when I brought up that we have 5 rings, oh, well, if you want to talk about history, we got 3. We got 3 before you even existed. Boom! Shakalaka. Boom! Shakalaka. Are you kidding me? So wait, what was it 47 and 48 in 1960 when there was only 10 teams? The American Football Conference wasn't even an idea. Not even an idea. I don't even know that there was television for the first 2. And if you were so great and so dominating, explain to me how the Detroit Lions have like 6 and that the Cleveland Doo-Doo Browns have like 9 and you only have 3, you're still behind. You're still behind on that one. You suck. But this bullshit crap that you're spieling, dude, enough already. Enough. Okay? If your team does not only win the Super Bowl, but let it be a 50-0 blowout, it's a failure by all the shit you've done talked this year. Now shut up. You talk too much. And you never shut up. Now shut up. Tired of this shit. I got all this wood to cut over here, and you fucking with my mojo. Make me lose my religion.
Oh, God. No. I want to be like the Eagles.